Will this junk saw that should have been thrown away run? And on today's episode, we have I think 2 McCulloughs and a mystery saw. I honestly don't know what this is. It's been down in my tack barn now for, I don't know, a couple years. And I was down there moving some stuff around, and I seen the old little Macs. I don't know if they're eager beavers or what these are. I really don't know. If it's not a steel, I don't know what it is. Not that one. Yeah, eager beaver. Little top handle saw. I don't know anything about these. I mean, I've worked on this style saw in the past, but it's so rare. I have no info to give you other than they're McCullough's Max. So that's what we got. Oh, it's missing a screw on the end, missing the chain. This one says needs carb on the handle. I don't know if that's a factory loose anti-vibration thing or, yeah, it must be. They're designed to be wiggly. That one's free. And that one's free, so. Okay, this one is a eager beaver. And this one is a Power Mac 320. So they look identical, other than a few little cosmetic things. Yellow cover, black cover. The chokes are in the same spot. The throttle latch. Okay, so that must hold the carburetor open. That releases it. Oop. And this one's broken. So, get that back, pretend that didn't happen. Oh yeah, it's brittle. Well, so it needs a little plastic cover now. But I was going to see if these things fired, and worst case we can take 2 and make 1. So we'll see what happens. Needs carb. This one doesn't have a tag on it, so I have no history or backstory on either of these. Other than I had them in my barn for whatever reason. I threw them in the corner along with all my other, junk saws. So here we go. We'll see if these things got any spark. So they both turn over. This one turns over better, so I'm going to set this one aside. We'll start with that one. I want to buy an electric saw for light home use. Man, if you're looking for a budget-friendly one, the DeWalt little 12-inch, DeWalt 18-volt, 12-inch electric saw, they're super handy, affordable. If you want to be fancy, go with the Milwaukee. I do have a Johnson Red electric 16-inch bar, but it's an older one with giant batteries. They're real heavy and awkward. I'd say DeWalt. DeWalt 12-inch little electric saw. So we're going to see if we can get these old McCulloughs fired up, or part them out, get a quick diag on them. So this one's got a broke side cover. This is not starting off good. I don't know anything about these saws. If it's not a steel, I'm out of my wheelhouse here. And spark plug wire's off. This might not have been the best saw to start with. This one, same style. It turns over, but the top cover that holds the throttle back is broke. Probably steal it off of this one if need be. Let's see what this thing looks like. All right, so this one's not broke. I don't see the plug wire, so that's good. And it's got a chain on it. The chain turns. Yeah, so maybe we'll switch gears. We'll go to this one. What I gotta do is grab this little side cover for this if need be, but we'll just start with the basics. Check some stuff. And it's got some varnishy gas in it. Really varnishy. Give me a sec. Should have dumped these out outside, I suppose. So we got varnished gas, not much of it though. I always check fuel lines and filters, make sure they're pliable. Because if they're cracked right out the gate, you gotta screw with that. Grab your surgical gear. The filter. Filter barely hanging on, but it's on there. Ooh, that fuel line is no good. I don't know if these, yeah, it is broke. So it's not brittle, it's rubbery. I mean, not rubbery, it's, I don't know what you'd call this, like, no, licorice. Gummy, that's the word. The fuel line is gummy. So usually, like on a steel or something else, the fuel lines will get hard and brittle. Well, this one is gummy. I don't know if it's got a little nipple inside the tank here. I'll try to pull it off and see. Yeah, it's just tacky. You could stretch her out. Neat. So I'll get that in here and see if it'll. I'm not sure how this fuel line's ran. So yeah, I kind of knew grabbing something that wasn't a steel might have been a bad idea because I don't work on these. But sometimes that's half the fun, you know? Working on something different, checking out other manufacturers' design, then you learn why you like something or not. Like I learned really early on, I do not like Husqvarna's. Changing the fuel line on them suck. It's got like a two-piece case. You try to run the fuel line down and it gets in between the two sections. I don't know why they did that, they just did. Well, I can't decide if that's a fitting or a pass-through. No. I do not see a pass-through. So, time to start tearing the saw apart. So right out the gate, I'll tell you what. Before I start tearing it apart, let's figure out the intake. I'll hit it with some starting fluid and see if it'll fire. If it fires, or if it tries to fire, it might be worth screwing with. You got the side cover. There's your choke. It's literally just a plate that covers it. Choke on, choke off. Let it start, stop. Stop is that way. That's stop. That's run. See what you guys are saying. I'll be honest with you, I've never ran an Echo. Yeah, I got buddies that do. They swear by them. But my problem is I'm too heavily invested in steel to really switch, and I'm brand proud, I guess. I like my steels, but I got a bunch of these. I end up buying saws. I'll buy a lot of saws because I want the one steel. Now I'm getting 10 random saws. This is a random saw. So hit it with some ether. We'll give it some more. We got it on run. We'll go no choke because it's warm in the shop. All right. I'm kind of disappointed it fired. Fired pretty quick, so I guess we'll go ahead and try to change this fuel line quick. Throw some gas in it and see if it will stay running. Let's see here. Well, if I can bring you guys closer, let you check out what's going on. So we got to get this fuel line pulled out of here and swapped. That's the plan. I really don't want to pull that carburetor off. So I'm going to see if I can sneak this fuel line out. I'm not sure how it seals. If it runs through. Yeah, so it looks like it's got a fitting in here. Hard fitting? No. It just had this shoulder. Is all how it sealed it. So I don't know if I got a same thing. So it's a two-piece. So you have the case, then you have this little fuel tank that sits inside the case, so it passes through there, and then you got to feed it through here. Husqvarna is the same way. So where steel uses, a single piece case goes, which is part of the tank. The tank is the case. Where this has its own tank, so now I got to figure out how to feed the fuel line through the tank and the actual case of the saw without that fuel line trying to get stuck in between. It's irritating. I've done it, but it's irritating. I suppose I could figure out how to split this side off. Doesn't look too bad, which will let me get right to the tank. I might do that. I don't know. If you guys have suggestions, let me know. I'm a McCullough 320 Power Mac newbie here. I've never messed with one. Come on, get out of there. This thing might just fight me. Let's see here. Let's get caught up on the comments here. Yeah, I'm not sure on the Echo, boss. I've never actually messed with an Echo. If you had some steel questions on the older saws, I could probably help you out. But the Echoes, I could probably help you with the bigger CC Max. I've ran quite a few of those. I do like them. They're just heavy. No, they're not even heavy. They're just, I don't know. I like steels. But the Echoes, I haven't messed with. And if you got a Craftsman or a Poland one, I could help you with those instantly. It's called throwing them away. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, ratchet. All right, it's kind of a neat design. Excuse me. It uses the little strap with bushings in it for your anti-vibration. It was allowing the handle to walk, so I think that's how that's their design on a like an anti-vibration deal. And it looks like the carb's gonna have to come off too. This off here. I think I started with the wrong saw. I got another saw I brought up that I know absolutely nothing about, but it's complete and it's old. That I actually started with. But I had two of these, so I figured I could take at least two and make one run real quick, but I wasn't anticipating the fuel line being licorice. All right, let's see here. Get that off. That's a long-winded bolt. Jeez Louise, look at that sucker. A mile long. Boy, isn't that just an adorable little recoil. Look at that thing. And somehow the... Well, I turned it over. I know I did. There we go. How that sucker come off, but it did. There we go. Huh. Nothing was working. It's not that it's wound up too much. It's got the wrong size pull cord on it. It's crazy that was working. All right. Take these carburetor screws out. That top one was loose. So it did fire on starting fluid. That's why we're screwing with it. And I'm gonna go ahead and guess the fuel line was the reason it stopped getting ran. So if I can get through a fuel line in it quick. All right, that's a goofy choke. So the hold down screw, in case not in case, but they hold the choke cover, so don't mess that up. And here is the pulse line, jug, and then it is cable. It's actually got a cable that runs the throttle. Gotta figure out how that works. It's just a hook. All right, so that hooked right in there. It's a little cable. I don't know if you guys can see that. Kind of different. And you can see the cable right there. So it runs down the handle right there. So that's how the little Eager Beaver Macs are doing it. Here's the fuel tank. Oh, we gotta take this further out. Well, they use some long-winded bolts, I'll tell you. Another one. Oh, there a bushing came out. That handle. Not sure what retains that cable. So that's the line for that's the pulse line to the crank. We're trying to get this fuel line, or this fuel tank out without breaking anything. I don't know how that cable would come out of here. I was hoping to just sneak this out. Oh, kinda, yeah, there we go. So yeah, here's the fuel tank. So we gotta get through this hole here and the hole in the case. However the heck that was set in there. That was like that. See, they don't even line up with each other. Oh yeah, it does. This hole right here on the side. That one. And that one. I need to figure out how this cable comes out. Oh, it's about out. Oh, it just got hooked is all. There. All right. So theoretically, we can move this out of the way. We're going to take this tank. That. The fuel line's got to pass through there, through here. See, it's a stupid design. Honestly. That's just a bad design. So if a guy were to try to sneak the fuel line from here to here, you would push it through and it would get caught. It would try to kick out or bunch up. See, that's terrible design. It looks like it should have had a screw right there, but either it was missing or it doesn't have a screw there, but it looks like it should. So maybe someone's been in here before. Hard to say. But I'm running into the problem of how am I going to keep this sealed. I mean, that's a good fit. I don't know if gas would leak out of that or not. It's pretty tight. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like the factory one had a shoulder on this fuel line. How tiny that is. It was collapsed or what? I don't know if a guy could put a like a stent inside there to make it more rigid when you jam this through, create a better seal. It might be an option. I don't think it would restrict the fuel line or the fuel very much because it's a small orifice and I'm going to a bigger line anyways. Let me see what I got here. I got some vacuum line. I thought I had some vacuum line. I mean, I guess I could always fill this up, test and see if it'll leak. I don't know. There it goes. It's gonna be way too big. Fuel line. Yeah, there's no way that's gonna fit in there. That stuff's way too big. So that's gonna be our best bet. give her a try. Push that through there. Pull this on out. Get our filter assortment out here. Little saw, little filter. There we go. Anybody know what this is? Any guesses? Got a needle, some O-rings. Any guesses what that is? Or these filters? It's kind of cool, old technology. If I get some guesses, I'll give the answer. All right, so the tank's kind of on a taper, runs down. So we got the fuel line down in here. Now, I'm gonna stick it through the side here. So that's trying to kink. There we go. Go ahead and cut that right here. Okay. Tank, there's our carb. Old fuel line, old filter, bushing. We're gonna have to look at that pulse line. Feels pretty pliable, it don't feel bad, which is good. So we'll set that over there. All right. Knocked off the coil. That thing's actually pretty loose. Give that a little cinch. No. There we go. Acts as a crimp. So that wire won't come back off. That pulse line. Where does that thing go? Oh, there it is. Right on the side of the intake over here. There's our throttle. Kind of a neat setup, honestly. I mean, oh, look at this. That's how you know you got a good saw. Junebug. Junebug decided this was going to be his home. Sorry, bud. He had a moth buddy in there. Or is that horsefly? I'm not sure what that is. June bug and some sort of horsefly looking other bug. All right, I think I got, I don't know, there's a lot more down in there. We'll just leave those in there. That's okay. And since it's not a steel, I'm not going to clean it up. That's just because I don't want to. Simple as that. All right, pulse line wise, find the right size fit. Right here. Yep, that'll be an excellent candidate. Pulse line is on the throat of the intake. Looks like I need approximately this much. Now I got to figure out how to fish that cable back through here. All right, why doesn't this want to go down in there? What am I hitting? All right, it's sliding. Now I got to take this. Yeah, before I said this cable throttle was kind of cool. I don't know if I think it's cool anymore. All right, I guess the fuel tank wanted to stay in there, so. Fuel tank down in there. And we got to fish that cable through this little hole right here. Nope. Let's try this again. I can see the cable poking through there. It just doesn't want to commit. In there. Look at that. I think we got her. Ish. All right, got the cable through there. Now I gotta get that, see, I gotta get that dang fuel line from the tank through the case. So, see, this is a terrible design. Got cable still in. Slide this back. All right, there it is. Cable still in. I gotta get the pulse line through the case. Talk about a pain in the butt. All right, there's our pulse line. Now we should be able to pull everything together. I like this lining up. There. Okay. So now we gotta get the fuel line and the pulse line and the throttle all hooked back up, making sense. This little area here, I might throw some screws back in this just so I don't lose anything I've gained. I think we're sitting flush. All right, we'll go ahead and go with the bushing. That's the carb. Oh, is that the long-winded one? That was the long-winded one. This was the extra long-winded one. All right, I'm over the wrenching by hand stuff. Now I'm in a hurry. It's taking too long. That sucker doesn't want to start. See what happens when you get in a hurry? Oh, why aren't you starting? Oh, everything's just going to hell here. That extension's no good. There we go. Huh. She's looking like she's lined up. Maybe that one went here. Nope. Over here? Nope. Gotta be that one. Case must not be sitting 100% square. We'll come back to that one. We're gonna screw with the carb first. That's a recoil screw. That's okay. Let's see if we can even get this on. All right. How the hell did I take this off? There's the carb. Sits in there like that. Cable went right on top. Here, I'll make it so you guys can see. See, I'm trying to be nice, but in all honesty, it helps me see. So that set in there. Pulse line. Boy, talk about a terrible design, McCullough. Wow. What a pain in the butt. You ever have one of those moments like, where did that come from? That's what this is. Where did this come from? I don't know. It was laying right there. I'm not sure where that came from. We'll just call that an extra part. Not necessary. You don't really need it. Oh, this is irritating. So the fuel line hose looks good. Get on there. See what happens when I leave my wheelhouse and try to work on I don't usually get frustrated, but this one's getting to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. This one's irritating the shit out of me right now. Come on. There we go. All right, pulse line is on. Pulse line's on. It could be red green. I don't know. That dude probably would have had it figured out by now. I'm getting my butt kicked on this thing. Oops, I bumped you. All right. Cool. So we got the fuel line on, and the pulse line fell off. So if you guys have been watching, I was battling that, and now it fell off. See, this is a lot of work for a old Mac chainsaw. I mean, if I was a shop, I don't know what a shop would charge to fix this. I'm not sure what saw shops are charging nowadays. I don't know if it's $60 an hour or what, but see, in my opinion, if somebody brought me this saw, I wouldn't work on it. It's not worth it. You can go buy one by the time I give you your bill. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right. I just took a second here. See if we can get this pulse line back on. You know, I'm doing all this probably just to find out that the tank leaks with that fuel line. There's a chance. There's a chance it's gonna leak. I think I got this figured out now. Okay, there's the pulse line. It's on. Now we got to get this cable on there. Okay, cable's on-ish. I'm gonna pull back the sleeve to this groove, right in there. All right, why aren't you working? Okay, because it fell out of the groove. Well, we might just turn this into how to part out a Power Mac 320. I think might be the best play here in a second, because I honestly don't know why I'm wasting my time starting this thing. Nah, I'm just screwing with you guys. I enjoy this stuff. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it. I enjoy chainsaws. And I enjoy working on stuff. All right, pulse line's back on. I'm gonna go ahead and get this mounted so I don't move that too much. All right, fuel line's on. Cable is down in the groove. There. So this was that goofy choke setup right here. It looked like, oh, see, I should have paid attention if it was like this or if it was like this. don't remember. I think it was like this. I'm pretty sure it was like this. And the cable, yeah, cable came down, lifted it up. That sounds good. I think that's how that worked. Come on, get these screws to start here. And that's a no. Why can't we get those screws to start? Looks like we gotta put it just a little bit of an angle. Try to grab that intake. I'm not sure what's going on. The screws are not lining up. There. There. Huh. I don't know, McCullough. This is a pretty terrible design, man. The old Power Mac 320. I don't know why it's not lining up, but it ain't. Come on. So it's got a rotating sleeve on the intake. I seen that when I had that case off, and I lined it back up, but now it's offset. For whatever reason. rotate over. Oh, there goes my hose line again. Pull that fuel line out of the way. I mean, it's kind of a cool design. It's a sleeve. Imagine a washer with threaded holes on the sides. It pulls the intake to seal against the carburetor. And I rotated it, but now it's acting like it's jammed up and it won't center. This is a McCulloch Mac 320. Power Mac, also known as junk. It was in my scrap pile, and it probably should have stayed there. See the ears. I can see, I can rotate it right here. But I just can't get it to fully rotate around. You guys can see that there's a hole right there. There's my screw. There they are. I got them lined up. Just wasn't wanting to jive, I guess. So I don't think it's supposed to be out that far. Little friction seal right there. What we got going on here? Ruben loves you. I appreciate that. The saw doesn't really care for me, I can tell you that. I think the saw wanted to stay dead. Now it's mad. I'm trying to bring it back. Post line. We're going to mess that throttle here in a second. No, this ain't a Poland. McCulloch. Yeah, Polands are terrible. Absolutely terrible. I had more Polands given to me because people know I like chainsaws and they have one in their garage. It's like, oh, I got a chainsaw you can have. And, you know, I'll ask, oh, what do you got? Oh, I got a Poland Wild thing. I'm like, nah, I appreciate it, man, but I don't want it. Like, oh, it just needs a carburetor cleaning. I'm like, nah. Honestly, man, I really don't want your Poland chainsaw. They are junk. I got, honestly, I don't know, 10, 15 of them down in the barn. I'm not saving them for any reason. They get thrown down in the barn, and I got a whole pile of saws. And this was in that pile. I don't know why I grabbed it. I grabbed it because it wasn't locked up, and you know, it's a McCulloch. They got a history, you know. They got pride. They made some good saws back in the day. so I thought I might do a revival on this real quick, but it's turned into an irritation more than anything. At first I liked this little cable style setup on this thing, but now it's turning into a little bit of a pain. Alright, there we go. There's our throttle. Pulse line's hooked up, fuel line's hooked up. So it had the carburetor mounted, but this choke isn't choking. Why is that so tight? There's just a lot of design in this thing that was, I wouldn't call it over-engineered. I would call it unnecessary. You know, whoever designed this saw was thinking about themselves, not the guy using the saw for sure. So there's a little bushing. That's probably why it's bound up. So there's too many little bushings and washers and spacers and springs and units on this thing. They just overcomplicated it. Sometimes being too complicated isn't good. All right, there's this goofy choke setup. There's your bushing. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I hope I get this damn thing running too. Yeah, I plan on making some pretty cool steel videos. You know, behind the scenes, I've been doing a lot of porting on stuff. I'm not into racing saws, but I like power saws. So I've built quite a few in the past. I got a 390 that I turned into a pretty respectable saw for a 390. I tried building the 391s, but with that Stratter style engine and that EPA carburetor, they weren't for me. So all right, fuel line's on, pulse line's on, throttle's on. Now we can throw the side cover on, throw some gas in it, see if this thing will shoot. Now there was a problem with the recoil. Someone's put too long or too big of string on there, but it works. So we're just going to leave that be for now. Let's see if we can get this mounted back up. Maybe. It's going to slip into there. All right. Long-winded screw. Nope, not that one. Shoot. There. This long-winded screw. Put in there. That was a short one. Oh yeah, this was that bushing one. That wouldn't line up for some reason. Over here. Not sure what's going on with that. Put that one on hold. You only need a few screws to test stuff. That one's there. This had that strap system right here. All right, so that's kind of a unique design. It's designed to flex and move your anti-vibration. All right. Oh, looks like my cable popped out of here. It didn't pop out. The sheath did. It's got to be down in this groove. Not sure exactly what holds that in there. I never saw a retainer, just kind of stayed put right there. But for now, what we could do is put a zip tie on the back side of this real tight. That'll keep that sheath from trying to work forward. Just for now, I'll figure it out. This cover might retain that, I'm not sure. But I don't want to put that cover on quite yet. You always cut your zip tie at an angle. Always, right? Nice and sharp. Okay, well, I think we have made it to the test stage. How many people think it's going to leak? Me? I think it's going to leak. You gotta use a gross funnel when you're working on stuff. Just like that. You got a fuel cap. I'm gonna set you guys over here. Raise you up. So we can see if this thing will come to life. So we got stop, on, throttle's working. So go ahead and here's some of that. Fires up good there. It's gonna have to prime itself. Now we're going to go ahead and choke it. No choke. I see fuel in there. Very smoky. Come on, girl. Let's choke. No choke. There we have it. There it is. That is that is about how you would expect this kind of project to go. So I think she's going to run. But boy, isn't that irritating? I'm not shocked, honestly. Really not shocked. So I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the comments. You learned absolutely nothing from this at all, other than me and McCullough don't get along, obviously. This saw was in my junk saw pile, and I think it wanted to stay there. I think it might head back there. So everybody tells me I should start an eBay store and start parting these things out. We'll see. I think they just might head to the garbage can, honestly. But. All right, guys, I'm out. Have a good night.